Well, hello and welcome to today's Back to Basics Healthy Lunches Show. I'm Alex Juarez, the AARP Arizona Communications Director. And as you know, AARP is the nation's largest nonprofit, nonpartisan organization dedicated to empowering people 50 and older to choose how they live as they age. With a nationwide presence and nearly 38 million members across the nation and over 900,000 in Arizona, AARP strengthens communities and advocates for what matters most to families: health, security, financial stability, and personal fulfillment. In the month of May, we have been focused on reclaiming your health. As the nation emerges from more than a year under the COVID-19 pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic has made it hard for all of us to take care of our mental and physical health. As we begin to emerge into post pandemic life, AARP wants to help you get healthier and stay healthy. We can help you take small but meaningful steps to improve your overall health and mental well-being and develop good habits for the future. You can go to aarp.org/healthy living for tips, tools, and resources that can help you reclaim your health today. You can also visit us at aarp.org/AZ. So today's show is about healthy lunches. Hello, Sherry Ann. Coach Sherry Ann, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Alex. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Really enjoyed the weekend. There was beautiful weather here in Arizona. I bet anything that you were pretty busy out there, out doing something. What were
Yeah,
you doing this
really
weekend?
great temps. I was definitely, reaping the benefits of, cooler temps. So yeah, definitely outside enjoying it.
I'm glad you did. And I'm sure you had a chance to prepare some wonderful dinners for your family. So we're going to talk about healthy lunches today. So let's start with the show.
Right. Well, first, like lunches. So, because I do want to reiterate, like when you are eating throughout the day, just make sure that you're creating enough space and time in between your meals.
Mhm.
And it is important that, if you're getting up and having like what I said before, you do breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper.
I love that.
So if you're
That's
doing a big breakfast, you're not going to need that much at lunch. But here at lunch, I do have a couple of different smaller items, things that we can kind
mhm.
of play with, and just some ideas. And it was funny because I was having a hard time actually picking what lunches I wanted to prepare.
Yeah.
Um, and the fun thing is you can have lunches. The meals I'm going to show you today could also be a dinner. And so. Just play with the different sizes based on how much of a breakfast you're having. But after breakfast, give yourself at least 3 to 4 hours before you dive into lunch. Um,
Okay.
Make sure that you've allowed your body to do its whole digestive process. It's not going to get through your own intestines and everything, but we want it to empty out of your stomach because the moment we put something in our mouth and we activate our salivary glands, which there's
Mhm.
enzymes in there,
Right.
enzymes are also being released throughout your whole digestive tract to start a process. And if you interrupt that process, it kind of just messes with your body's ability to digest appropriately. So just if you're doing lunches, just make sure you've waited long enough to after dinner. Some people think like, oh, it's 12 o'clock. I gotta do lunch. It's like, no, just pay attention to the cues that your body is giving you. It's really important. So
One.
a new one that I prepared that I really like is I made an egg salad sandwich. So I love eggs. If you've been watching the show, you know me. I'm a huge proponent of eggs. Eggs are a perfect protein. And I love hard boiled eggs. I love deviled eggs. And I thought, you know what? I'll make an egg salad sandwich. But I'm not a big fan of mayonnaise. Never have been. Veganese, I can do, but I'm just not a big fan of mayonnaise. And so I made this egg salad sandwich with Greek yogurt.
Ooh.
And so, and in here I chopped up some red onions and dill and lemon. And so there's no specific recipe to this. It was just kind of like I just started mixing stuff together, and I'm happy to share the recipe that I created because it was kind of a work in progress. And this is how I cook. This is why I love to cook, because you have a lot of freedom to do what you want. So I did put it on a 9-grain bread. You could put the egg salad in a lettuce wrap. You could put it in, you could just eat it by itself. You could put it on cracker. You could put it on pita bread. We just prefer a really hearty, this is a really seedy bread. And I put some arugula on the bread as well with just a tiny bit of drizzle of a lemon vinaigrette that I've made. But yes, so I chopped up eggs, lemon, Greek yogurt, and some dill and red onion. And it was really, really tasty.
That looks absolutely delicious.
I was like,
quick question about the arugula. What is it? Arugula. So what's the difference between that and kale?
Oh, well, if baby kale, you can do. Like regular big kale is really hard, and it can be bitter. Arugula just has, to me, it does. Some people don't like arugula because it has a very earthy taste to it. To me,
right?
But it's got some good flavor, but the lemon, a little bit of lemon vinaigrette on it, a tiny bit, just like awakens the arugula to me. Like it makes it just taste so good.
Yes.
But you could put spinach, you could put romaine, you could put whatever you want. But you know me, I like colors, and I'm always trying to get things in there. So, but yeah, this was a big win. I was really pleasantly surprised because I'm normally not a big egg salad, chicken salad kind of person, just because I'm not a big mayo person. But I was like, I'm going to do it with Greek yogurt. And then there are recipes online that do give you like how to do Greek yogurt salads.
Yes.
And so, but I just had fun playing with it and just kind of figuring it out on my own. But that one turned out really well. I was super pleasantly surprised. Well, because I experiment making things in my house and my kids laugh at me. They're like, really, Mom? And I'm like, just try it. We don't know.
Exactly. Experiment.
Exactly. So, so that's one. So the next one, it takes a little bit of prep on the front side, or you could buy, so it's a chicken salad and colors again, me and colors. Yep. So this is just chicken breast that's thinly sliced, and I cooked it on my cast iron skillet with some seasonings. Right. If you don't want to go through the trouble of prepping chicken beforehand, like they have pre-done like chicken strips that you can buy at the store. Yep. I just prefer to do mine myself. I try to stay away from as much processed things as possible.
Exactly.
And so, but in here, I have chicken, and then I have some avocado for some fat, and then just colors, tomatoes and red bell peppers. And then underneath it's mixed greens. I prefer mixed greens because you have a lot more vitamins and antioxidants, and mixed greens just are super hearty and good for you. If you're not a big fan of mixed greens, just try to go as green as you can. Iceberg lettuce is a waste. You're just pretty much chewing water. So just try to get as green as you can with your lettuce. And the other fat that's in here is, so I said the avocado, but I make my own vinaigrette with olive oil and rice vinegar. And so there's a little bit of fat in there too. Because remember, when you're eating, you want to make sure that you have all three of your macronutrients: proteins, fats, and carbs. And so in here, you have all of that because the protein is in the chicken, fats in the avocado, and a little bit of the dressing, and then your carbs are all your veggies. So perfectly balanced. And so one of my suggestions is, as you're kind of thinking about meals for the week, it's really hard for some people to plan ahead. And so if you have the time and the capacity, the brain, the bandwidth to plan, just go ahead and plan ahead. And there's things that you can prepare ahead of time and just have in your fridge ready to go. And chicken's one of them, or any kind of meat really. And if you want to, and I saw a comment, I think from Kathy, about rotisserie chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, shredding your own rotisserie chicken or oven roasted chicken breast is easy and budget friendly.
Yes, and funny enough, I cooked a whole chicken in my Instant Pot last night, also, because then I have it ready to go, and because the kids will pull it out and do that, and so it's easy if you have it prepared ahead of time, and or a rotisserie chicken is, I think, $6 at the store.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Very inexpensive.
Yeah. Just get it, shredded at home and prepped and ready. And then that way you can just pull it when you need to.
So we have several comments that have come in, and I'd like to just remind everyone, if you'd like to put a comment or question for Coach Ariane, please note it there. Let us know where you're watching from as well, because as you know, Coach Ariane, now we are nationwide. You are
Yes.
being viewed from all over the nation. But we have a comment from Kathy. She said, "I'm ready to learn about healthy lunches from Sherry Ann." That's wonderful. Todd
Awesome.
Silva says, "Thanks for the next round, AARP. Always look forward to this presentation." Kathy again said, "Glad to see healthy options besides salads." That's wonderful. That's
I'm
good.
just doing soda
That's
salad.
me. Billy Nelson, great to learn new healthy ideas. Thank you for joining us. Kathy again, Regula is spicy and tasty. What else we have? We already went through Kathy's comment of shredded and rotisserie chicken. Kathy Rocco, can you give us some quick salad dressing recipes as well? Excellent. Brenda is watching from, I'm in Boston. Wonderful. Welcome and glad you're joining us today. Kathy is watching from North Florida. And Cheryl Edwards, hello from New Jersey. Love your show. Well, thank you so much for joining, Cheryl. That is wonderful. You got a lot of people following you now, Coach Ariane, from all over the nation.
That's awesome. I'm here to serve. I've always been in servant leadership, and I love it. I do. I really like impacting people's lives. So salad dressings.
Yes.
I'll post a few on
Mhm.
the Facebook page when we're done
Right.
filming this, just so that people can have it. But just really quick off the bat, it's funny because people laugh and I get made fun of because people ask me for my homemade dressing when they're here eating at my house, and I'm like, I don't. It's not written out. It's all by
Right.
sight. But what I do is I use olive oil, and because I love olive oil. It's really good for you. It has a lot of properties that are very healthy for you. So, and I like seasoned rice vinegar because I just like the way it blends together. I've tried a lot of different vinegars, balsamics, but for me personally, it's just rice vinegar. And I do 50-50. So it's 50 oil, 50 rice vinegar. And then I use garlic powder in a significant amount because I love garlic, and garlic also has a lot of wonderful properties to it. And then oregano and crushed pepper, and that's it.
Simple.
And it's all by sight,
Yeah.
that I sprinkle it in. And the next time I make a batch, I will measure just so that I can share. Because people ask me, like, can you just make it for me? I'm like, sure, it's really easy. But yeah, so it just depends. So I prefer vinaigrettes because they're cleaner and they're healthier. I don't do a lot of cream dressings. My youngest loves Caesar. And so that's his dressing. But try to make your dressings as much as you can. Just because when you're buying it at the store, there's preservatives in it, and you just want to try to keep things as clean as possible and fun. And plus, it's fun when you're making your own vinaigrette because then you can kind of give it its own flair.
Exactly. Earlier, you talked about something interesting, Instapot, and that's very popular. A lot of people use it. My wife uses it, but I also hear people talking about air fryers. Can you talk a little bit about the difference between those two and which one might be healthier?
It's not that one's healthier than the other. They cook totally different. So an
Okay.
Instant Pot is a pressure cooker. And the reason I love it is because I can cook meat very quickly.
Right.
And I can get meat very tender. I mean, I can make a stew like a beef stew in 40 minutes. Whereas if you're used to do it like on the stove, it would take hours for the meat to get tender. I can cook like a tri-tip in there, and it just, or carnitas, and it gets really tender. So an Instant Pot is a pressure cooker, and like I cook my own beets in it, and I can have beets within 20 minutes.
Really fast. Yeah.
I love it. An air fryer is giving you the opportunity to have food that has the consistency that it's been fried, but it's not been fried in oil.
Without oil. Okay.
Yeah. So it is a healthy option, except me, and what I've always shared is like, don't be afraid of fat. Like, we need fat in our diets. We just don't want excess of it. So yeah, just keep it I'm not a big air fryer fan because I don't have a problem like with fat, but if you're having a lot of fried foods, then it gives you the opportunity to have something that tastes fried, but it's not fried, and you can get your fats in elsewhere. So
Exactly. Before we go back to your recipes, we have more comments and just people that are writing to us. We have, let's see, Cheryl, hello from New Jersey, love your show. Billy Nelson watching from South Dakota. Lynn Johnson, hello from Indianapolis, Indiana. Kim, I'm in New York. Let's see, Sandra, great suggestions watching from South Carolina. We have Lynn also from Indianapolis. We already said that one. And let's see what else. So we have a lot of people that are watching from different places. So great to have everybody. And welcome to the show with Coach Sherry Ann. It's wonderful to have Coach Sherry Ann giving us some healthy tips for. We've talked about breakfast. We've talked about lunches. Next time will probably be dinners, correct?
Yep.
Excellent. Yes. Nice. I'm hungry already. I'm ready.
All right. Well, on to the next one. So this one, you can switch it up. There's so many things that you can do for variety. It's a lettuce wrap. So in this lettuce wrap, I have chicken, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to do the chicken that I cooked in the Instant Pot last night, like a rotisserie chicken, or the chicken strips that I had made by cutting up a chicken breast. So in here, I just have, I have some cheese and some chicken, and obviously some avocado for fat, because I love avocado. I could eat avocados on everything. So this is super simple, very quick, very easy to throw together, and it's very nutritious. And so I really like lettuce wraps because I'm not a big bread person. And so it just gives me the opportunity to but you could do a tortilla, like a whole wheat, low carb tortilla if you wanted. Those are really, really popular right now. But yeah, I mean, you could wrap the chicken, cheese, and avocado and really whatever you'd like to. Like you could even put it in a pita, like a pita pocket. And so this I like because it's just, like I said, quick, easy, simple, and to the point. And sometimes when I do these two, I will drizzle like a hot sauce on it just because I like a little bit of
interesting
flair.
Yeah.
So it's one of those that you can just do a lot of different things with. Like you can play with it. Lettuce wraps. You can put anything in lettuce wrap. Sometimes I'll take a cheese stick, or I'll slice my own cheese, and I'll wrap prosciutto around it, and then I'll put it in a lettuce just to have a little bit of crunch, like a romaine, like that. And that's another way of doing a lettuce wrap. And it's just fun because it's just like one big wrap. So it's like cheese, prosciutto, which is like a meat. It's a salami kind of.
Right.
It's a cured meat, and then the lettuce. And so you got your crunch, your meat, your cheese, your fat. So it's really, really good.
Interesting. That's great. Yeah. Wonderful recipes. And remember, Coach Sherry Ann will probably go back in there after the show, and she can probably put some of the recipes in there if you want to follow her on that. That'd be great. Or ask her questions.
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely. Please ask any questions you have. And it's interesting because when we mentioned the Instant Pot and you had asked me about an air fryer also, we could do down the road, because we have some of ours, we have stuff scheduled out already, but is doing an Instant Pot session. Like I'll just cook a lot of different things that I cook in my Instant Pot and share those recipes because it's super user friendly. It's a wonderful tool if you don't have one to help cook all kinds of meals. And it just depends on the time of year. Like in the wintertime, I cook a lot of stews and soups in it. And then now I'm cooking, and I use it to cook like spaghetti squash, beets, like you name it, like all kinds of things in it.
Wonderful. We will be doing that show.
I know. I see that one definitely coming down the pipe.
Definitely. Yes.
I love to cook and I love to share. So it's fun. It's really easy for me.
That's wonderful.
Because, like I've said, we become a society where we become very attached to our food. And people eat because they either emotionally eat and they're not eating to survive. They're surviving to eat. And so it's like it's important to recognize that when you're eating your food, like this food is keeping you alive. So make sure that you're taking care of your body by putting appropriate things in it. Stay away from processed foods. Try to cook as much as you can. I know it's fun to go out and have dinner out at a restaurant because somebody else is cooking and cleaning it. But there's a lot of wonderful things that can go on with cooking. And Cooking actually there's cooking therapy classes. Like cooking can actually be very, very therapeutic if you allow it to be, because
Mhm.
you're awakening all 5 of your senses. You're hearing the food cook, or you're hearing yourself chop stuff, you're smelling things, you're seeing it, you're tasting it. So all of your senses are awakened. So you become very, very aware when you're cooking. And so I encourage people to cook as much as they can.
Yeah, great tip, and especially after coming out of COVID, I think a lot of us, struggled, with social isolation, not having too many people to talk to. So this is a great way to do it. And maybe spend some time with your spouse cooking. That's a great way to have some couple time there.
100%. Like it's really even going to the store and buying the ingredients.
Right.
Like you'll find things that try getting recipes that you've never made before, like
Yeah.
different kinds of foods. And when you're at the produce section, like if you see something that you've never had before, get it, look it up, figure out how to cook it, how to use it. It just really is. It's actually kind of fun. When my kids were younger, they were always with me at the store, and I'm like, go find something that you haven't had before on
Yeah.
the outskirts of the store, not on the aisles.
Excellent. We also have a message from Sharon. She's watching from Saratoga Springs, New York. Wow. We have Kathy. She's watching us from Prescott, Arizona. We have Lynn Johnson, first time watching, but I will watch future presentations. Thank you, Lynn, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Well, and also, Lynn, there are all of the episodes are
Yep.
archived on the Facebook page.
Hmm.
So even if you're wondering if I've covered something before, you could go search, and all the episodes are all there on the Facebook page. So feel free to go back and
Absolutely.
look. Okay, so the next one is a bento box. And these are fun because you can put whatever you want in there. Just make sure you have your 3 macronutrients, your fat, your protein, and your carb. But they're fun because you can just do all kinds of things. So this one, I'm going to try and tip it up without. So in here I have hummus, and I can put a little lid on this little hummus. So there's hummus in here, and then I always do colored carrots. So there's 3 different colors. There's white, orange, and purple carrots in there, and some red bell peppers, and some hummus. So here you've got your fat and your protein in your hummus. Not a lot of fat, but you got some protein in there. And then on this other side are crackers that you can also dip into
Mhm.
the hummus as well. And these are a very seedy cracker. So they've got lots of seeds, flax seeds in them. Uh, I love them. So,
Yep.
and then in here, another one of my favorites, olives.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's about 7 olives in there, big, different variety of olives. So here's also a really good source of fat. So this is a meat-free good lunch. So there's no meat in here, but you've got your proteins because you're blending the right amount of things. So this is a vegetarian lunch. So for those that
Okay.
don't eat meat, but
Hmm.
bento boxes, man, you can put anything in them. I mean, you could have almonds in there. You could have all kinds of things. So just have fun with it. You could do the cheese and meat wraps, um, whatever you really want. Just bento boxes, and it does take prep time, but this could be something you could prepare the night before and then take with you wherever you're going. This one I do a lot if I'm having a meeting with somebody at the park,
Right.
because I'll take a bento box to the park because it's really, really easy. It's self-contained, it's quick, and it's fun. So
Can you talk briefly about portion control? What is a good size portion for lunch?
So that, like I said at the beginning of the show, it really depends on if you're awakening and you're just having a very small breakfast just to get
Hmm.
your metabolism going, then you're going to need to eat probably a bigger lunch. But if
Okay.
you're like me, I eat a very large breakfast and a large dinner. So my lunches are very small,
Small. Okay. Hmm.
and not very big. So
Okay.
it just depends on how you're eating throughout the day.
Okay.
And like we've talked about intermittent fasting, for people that are doing intermittent fasting, they're not really doing a lunch. They're doing just a
Right.
breakfast and a dinner.
Hmm.
But they might have like a small snack, in the day. And like 2 episodes ago, we did snacks. So a lot of it just depends on your caloric intake that you're doing throughout the day.
Okay. Great.
All
Good.
right. So another vegetarian meal So this one is really, really, it's kind of just a pretty one. So this on here, I have down here, oh, my tomatoes are rolling. So this is it's a hearty grain. There's millet, there's quinoa, a brown rice. So it's just a very hearty grain that actually has quite a bit of protein in it because of the type of grain that it is. But I also have on here garbanzo beans. So these two mixed together is a perfect protein. It's a really great protein. And so that's the protein. And then I have some color. Gotta have color. So tomatoes, cucumbers, radishes, and then some greens, just not very much greens, and then some avocado. And so then I'll dress this with my olive oil vinaigrette and just stir it all together and then eat it.
Okay.
And so this is kind of a bigger lunch. So this would be for somebody that isn't having a very large breakfast and needs a little bit more lunch, and they're going to do a smaller dinner.
Okay.
But
is quinoa considered a carbohydrate?
No, it's not actually.
It's not? Wow. Okay.
Well, I mean, it does have carb in it, but it has enough protein in it. It's a really good grain to have.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let me ask you, I mean, my wife has tried me eating it. My daughter has tried it, and I just don't like the taste or something about quinoa. What can I put to make it taste better?
So there's different kinds of quinoa. So what I do when I'm cooking just quinoa, so now I mix quinoa with a brown rice because then it's in there.
With brown rice, okay.
Yeah, I'll mix it with other things now. One of my favorite things to do actually is putting quinoa in my hummus. So the hummus a little heartier. But what you could do is, depending upon, like, you can toast the quinoa in a pan before you add the water to cook it. And when you toast it, it just gives it kind of a heartier taste.
Sure.
And then instead of adding water, you could add like a low sodium chicken broth or some type of broth and cook it in broth.
I love that idea.
So yeah, quinoa, the consistency of it when it's by itself does like bother people because how it is in the mouth, because they're just tiny little balls, like, is what it feels like. So if you mix it with something else, then it's easier. I mean, like people have less problem with it when it's mixed with like a rice. And so you'll start to see now, like on the shelves, brown rice and quinoa mixes.
Mixed.
Already mixed together. Like in a pinch, here, I'll show you because I actually have some right here. So in a pinch, it's definitely processed foods, but in a pinch, I'll do these because this one has quinoa, brown rice, and red beans. And so this is a meatless, wonderful protein. I mean, so in a pinch, I like to do things like this, and it's because it is as minimally processed as like it can be, but it's still processed foods because it's packaged. But in a pinch, I will definitely do those.
Okay, very good. What about seasonings? Okay to add seasonings?
Oh, 100%. Nothing is wrong with
seasoning.
And that's the thing, is like, have fun with cooking. If you ruin it, you ruin it. But like if you over season it or whatnot. But seasonings, there's so many things out there. Like in the egg salad sandwich, I put dill, and I haven't bought fresh dill in a very long time. And it smelled so good. And I was like, why? And so it was just a reminder of like, keep trying, new things. Or if it's been a long time since you've tried it, like bring it back in. Like, it's so great to enhance things with seasonings and try to do as fresh herbs as much as you can.
Okay. I say that our producer, Hannah, she just put in there quinoa, peanut butter, and eggs. I was like, oh my goodness, that is one strange combination.
Yeah. I'm not sure how the eggs get fit in there, but I can see quinoa you can mix into like all kinds of things. Like I said, I put it in hummus. You can mix it into all kinds of things, especially if you're cooking it the way it's packaged to cook, in the sense of it's a super benign, like there's not a lot of flavor to it, unless you're like toasting it and then cooking it in a broth. But that's interesting. I'll have to ask Hannah about the egg part with the peanut butter.
Well, we'll have to clarify that one. I know Brendan's probably thinking back there as well. He helps us produce a show. He's probably wondering, like, what?
That is awesome.
Oh my goodness, that's great. Well, these are great recipes. Very good information here. So, what do we have to look forward next show?
We'll be doing healthy dinners, and it's a fun. I like it. It's fun because I'll come in with like I like to cook. So yeah, we'll just cover some healthy dinners, and I'll have some options of
Yep.
meatless ones because we do have people that are vegetarian, and then in different sizes and how you can play with it. So healthy dinners.
That is fantastic. Well, Coach Sherry Ann, thank you so much for joining us today, and as you do every other Tuesday. And for those watching us all across the nation, thank you so much for joining us. And for our members here in Arizona, thank you so much as well. We appreciate you guys being AARP members. We thank you for participating and for joining us on today's show. We look forward to seeing Coach Sherry Ann again in 2 weeks, and we'll be talking about healthy dinners. And you're going to be probably, where are you going to be in? You might
Oh,
be in Canada?
oh no, not yet. I'll still be here. We will have just
Okay.
come back from touring the East Coast, but no,
East
I'll be
Coast.
here in
Okay.
Arizona on the
Oh,
8th.
that's right. Yeah, you're going to DC. That's true. Exactly. Well, wonderful. Have a great trip. And thank you so much, everyone, for watching us. Have a great day.